This man is undoubtedly the most skilled killer accountant in the world. As an assassin, he possesses remarkable virtues, always delivering a finishing shot to the head. Yet, who would have thought such a man is an autistic patient? 9 years later, the sequel to The Accountant has finally been released. The protagonist, Christian, was an autistic accountant, isolated by his condition from a young age. However, under his father's tutelage, he and his younger brother, Braxton, acquired exceptional skills. As an adult, Christian outwardly appears as an accountant, secretly providing financial audit services to businesses. In reality, he's an accountant assassin, handling financial information for criminal organizations for certain clients. Christian, however, donates all his earnings to the Center for Abnormal Human Research, funding assistance for individuals like himself. Among them, Justin, Christian's exclusive liaison, has a medical condition preventing normal speech, communicating only through computer-converted voice. Yet, Justin is a top computer genius, offering Christian robust technical support. 8 years after the first film concluded, in Los Angeles, Ray, deputy director of the Financial Crimes Enforcement Bureau, sits alone in a lottery center, awaiting someone. Unbeknownst to Ray, numerous killers lie in wait around him. Soon, the target appears, a short-haired woman. The killer immediately requests instructions from their boss and receives orders to eliminate both individuals. The short-haired woman walks directly to Ray. In fact, she is also an assassin, performing illicit work for money. Ray arranged this meeting because he had a job for her. Ray produces a photo, explaining that this family left their Salvadoran hometown 8 years ago, illegally entering the US. But the mother, Edith, and child, Berto, suddenly vanished. Now, the father has entrusted Ray with finding his wife and child. However, Ray is essentially semi-retired and only accepts cases with personal significance. So, Ray intends to entrust the case to the short-haired woman. Ray suddenly senses danger and hurries to the bathroom. The killers swiftly follow. But when Ray enters, he finds all windows sealed. Realizing his likely demise, he quickly hides. In a compartment, he scribbles a clue on his arm, then emerges to confront the killers. Despite his age, Ray remains agile. After incapacitating one killer, he fatally stabs another with a pen. Simultaneously, the woman seizes the opportunity to slip out the door and escape into the crowd. A sniper, lying in wait across the street, aims his rifle, but dense traffic prevents a clear shot. Ultimately, the woman escapes. Ray then stumbles into the street but is not as fortunate and is shot dead instantly. The next morning, Marybeth, Ray's favorite pupil and director of the Financial Crimes Enforcement Bureau, rushes to the morgue upon hearing the grim news. Her mentor is now a corpse. In her grief, Marybeth discovers Ray's final words on his arm, "Find the accountant." Naturally, this refers to the accountant assassin, Christian. At this time, Christian is attempting to integrate into normal life. Although he earns a considerable sum, Christian prefers not to reside in a fixed location, opting instead for a motorhome and traveling year-round. Today, advised by Justin, he is preparing for a blind date. With his striking appearance and successful persona, the women present are eager to queue for a date with him, but Christian struggles with social conversation. In the end, all other men successfully pair up, leaving him alone. Meanwhile, Marybeth continues investigating Ray's death. She first locates the landlord and his wife, and together they enter Ray's rented house. Marybeth soon discovers that Ray appeared to be investigating a series of homicides before his death. Then, Marybeth finds a business card in a notebook with Christian's name written on the back. Marybeth concludes something is amiss. She immediately rents the house from the homeowner to continue the investigation. That night, Marybeth dials the number from the card, and Justin answers. For safety, Justin always pretends not to know Christian for unfamiliar clients. Unexpectedly, Marybeth mentions Ray's murder, and Ray and Christian shared a deep connection. Ray had relied on Christian and Justin's help to gradually ascend to deputy director. So, Justin naturally understood the seriousness of the matter. The next day, the sniper who failed the mission finds their employer to report the situation. This person is Burke, the leader of a local human trafficking organization. Upon hearing the details, Burke is furious. Can 4 professional killers even take down one woman? Burke recalls an incident from years ago. That day, while negotiating with several gang leaders, the woman suddenly burst in and accurately shot several people. She spared Burke's life because she didn't know him. But Burke deduced her identity from her tattoo, realizing she must have lost her memory, otherwise she wouldn't have spared him. To prevent the woman from regaining her memory and returning to kill him, Burke decides to strike first. Since the first attempt was unsuccessful, he orders another try. So, Burke sends the sniper to kill the woman again. At the same time, Marybeth arrives at the parking lot. Guided by Justin, she sees a smashed stone pier identical to one in Ray's photo. As she carefully investigates, Christian appears like a ghost. Marybeth becomes alert, having previously dealt with Christian and knowing his strength is unfathomable. Christian openly approaches and asks Marybeth what she wants from him. Marybeth takes Christian back to Ray's residence. The room's walls are covered with information. Christian quickly scans it, immediately recognizing many of the deceased. His gaze then falls on a photo of a boy behind a wire fence. Christian pieces together the scattered information, realizing this family of three is key to solving the mystery. Based on the gang tattoo on the man's arm, Christian believes the family lived in Mexico, likely entering the US illegally by train. And the boy trapped by the wire fence is the grown-up boy in the photo. Christian then analyzes the woman in the photo and finds a child support declaration document listing her name as Edith. But strangely, Edith's tax records are problematic, and the document also mentions Edith has a father. If Edith truly had a father, why didn't she seek refuge with him? To investigate, the two go to the processing plant where Edith worked to question the boss, such as why Edith would arbitrarily forego the tax break she was entitled to. But the boss claims not to know Edith. Christian immediately sees that the boss's sales figures are problematic, there's illegal income and factory profits. The boss becomes furious, threatening Christian to stop talking nonsense and summoning two enforcers. However, Christian easily incapacitates the enforcers, then controls the boss, using painful tactics to force him to reveal the source of the money. In the end, the boss admits to providing girls for pimps. Seeing no more clues could be obtained, Christian and Marybeth leave the processing plant. Marybeth is dissatisfied with Christian's violent methods and warns him not to act recklessly again. Marybeth plans to apply for support from the FBI, but Christian thinks of a more suitable helper, his younger brother, Braxton, who is also working as a hitman for hire. At this point, Braxton is eating and chatting with a girl. He is annoyed to receive a call from Christian asking him for immediate help. The brothers hadn't seen each other in 8 years since their last meeting, and Christian hadn't even taken the initiative to call during that time. Now, he was asking for help out of the blue. But Braxton also knew that for Christian, who suffered from autism, maintaining a relationship was very difficult. So he just grumbled verbally but was still willing to help his brother in his heart. But the girl was terrified, thinking Braxton was going to harm her, and hurriedly pleaded for mercy in a panic. Braxton just felt confused and tried to have a conversation. On the other side, Christian and Marybeth are already waiting at the entrance of a motel. Christian casually mentions that his brother often gets angry with him for no reason. Marybeth likely guesses why and tells Christian to remember to thank his brother later. Shortly after, Braxton drives to the motel. Upon learning that Marybeth is the director of the Financial Crimes Enforcement Bureau, Braxton quickly pulls his brother aside, wondering if he has lost his mind. After all, they weren't good people. How dare they act with federal agents? But Christian's simple thank you makes Braxton happily agree. Then Braxton stuffs a stack of money into the motel receptionist's hand, saying he wants to find 3 dancers to have fun with. They ask Marybeth to wait outside while Christian and Braxton go into the room to lie in wait. Soon, 3 dancers arrive at the room on time. After giving them the money, Braxton asks to meet the pimp. But as soon as he says this, the dancers' expressions change. 2 realize it's a trap and quickly grab their bags and run away. The remaining dancer also wants the pimp punished, but the money isn't enough for her to risk her life. Braxton asks Christian to take out 2 more rolls of banknotes, and the dancer finally dials the pimp's number, pretending to be bullied by a man and asking for help. After the call, the dancer suddenly says she has no children. Before the 2 can react, she opens the door and leaves. At this time, Marybeth makes a new discovery. Technicians have found external surveillance footage of the lottery center when Ray was killed, but the footage is too cluttered with people coming and going to distinguish the killer or who Ray was meeting. The technicians also tell Marybeth that the police found Edith's father, but he had been shot and killed. Investigations revealed he wasn't Edith's father at all, but a member of a human trafficking organization who had smuggled Edith's family into the US years earlier and killed Edith's husband when extortion failed. Just then, the pimp arrives at the motel. He tries to blackmail them but is punched downstairs by Braxton. The brothers immediately stuff the unconscious pimp into Marybeth's trunk. Marybeth is terrified and shouts that this is kidnapping. But Christian calmly calls Justin, asking her to turn all traffic lights along the route green and arrange for someone to make a false police report to disperse the police. In this way, the three successfully return to Ray's residence. Marybeth is eager to check the surveillance footage for clues, but Christian has a better idea. He asks Justin to gather the specially gifted teenagers from the Research Institute to jointly analyze the surveillance footage near the lottery center. After collecting more surveillance videos and filtering through them, they identify an extremely calm woman who stands out from the panicked crowd around her. But the woman is very cunning, deliberately keeping her head down to avoid cameras the entire way. However, the teenagers make an unexpected discovery: a woman across the way is taking a selfie. Under Justin's precise coordination, the children divide tasks to hack into the woman's computer, constantly making noises to lure her away, then seize the opportunity to search her photo album and finally find the selfie. After restoring and enlarging the photo, they discover the woman is a top killer, globally wanted by the FBI, and no one knows her real name. Marybeth is completely confused. She can't understand why Ray would ask such a dangerous person to search for someone. Marybeth guesses that all the people on the wall had been killed by that woman. But Braxton tells her he knows for sure that the woman did not kill some of the people on the wall. But Marybeth isn't stupid. She immediately realizes those were Braxton's handiwork. Marybeth curses the brothers as lunatics and turns to leave in her car, but then remembers the pimp in the trunk and turns back at once, saying she will hand him over to the prosecutor. Marybeth also warns Christian that if the two are still there when she returns, he shouldn't blame her for being harsh. Soon, Marybeth and the prosecutor begin interrogating the pimp. They show him photos of the bodies of human trafficking organization members, reminding him that this man and his lawyer had both been killed. After all, in the eyes of the mastermind, they were all expendable. This completely breaks the pimp's psychological defense, and he admits to having trafficked women into the US from various places. Marybeth takes the opportunity to show him the family photo, and the pimp recognizes Edith immediately. At the time, Edith had been sold as a maid. But 5 years ago, she was in a car accident and sent to the hospital, after which there was no news. But just as the pimp is about to reveal key clues, a sniper working for Burke, positioned across the building, quickly kills the pimp and his lawyer. Afterward, the sniper swiftly packs up and vanishes without a trace. The news quickly reaches Christian, and Justin also finds out that Edith had been taken to University Hospital Center after the car accident. Christian asks Justin to check Edith's old hospital records. After hanging up, he keeps wondering about the dancer's strange words, "What did I have no children" really mean? But Braxton is getting restless. After holding back for a long time, he finally asks, "Haven't seen each other in 8 years. Don't you miss me at all? I spent years looking for you. I was just trying to track you down, but you don't look for me at all. I finally find you, you would come and find me soon, and then you just disappeared again. I guess you had my phone number." Christian couldn't answer such a question directly. He just repeated that this was his personality. Braxton knows his brother is autistic and doesn't press further, instead dragging him to a bar to relax. Christian notices a dynamic woman who also feels his gaze and takes the initiative to ask if he wants to request a song. Christian has no idea how to respond and stammers, making the woman angry and leave. Braxton complains that his brother has missed an easy romantic opportunity. While the brothers are arguing, the woman has started dancing to the music. Christian is instantly attracted and goes over to imitate her dancing. Braxton happily cheers for his brother from the audience. At the end of the song, the woman hugs Christian with a smile, but then a man picks a fight, warning Christian not to touch his girlfriend. The woman explains they have no connection, but the man persists and tries to start a fight. Braxton wouldn't let his brother be bullied. He rushes up and throws the man and his lackey out of the bar. Finally, the brothers leave, and Christian even gets the woman's number. While the brothers are having fun, Marybeth is still chasing clues. She finds the hospital where Edith had been treated after the car accident and learns a shocking truth from the attending physician. The car accident hadn't only caused Edith to fracture and disfigure but also led to amnesia. Before the repair surgery, the doctor had Edith undergo neurorehabilitation therapy and unexpectedly found that the brain injury had instead activated her brain potential. The doctor tells Marybeth a term, acquired savant syndrome. In extremely rare cases, victims of blunt trauma can develop astonishing abilities in their brains. Edith had activated her frontal and parietal cortices, not only becoming smarter but also extremely agile and aggressive. One night, Edith knocked out the security guard and escaped, disappearing without a trace since then. However, the doctor doesn't realize his computer has been hacked, and all data has been sent to Christian. At the same time, Braxton is on the phone with his boss. In fact, Braxton knows the woman's identity because she also takes orders from the boss. But the boss refuses to reveal her identity and instead asks Braxton to check out a new assassination mission. When the photo comes through, the target is actually Marybeth. Braxton is immediately torn and can only suppress the matter for now. Late at night, Christian is still staring at the photo, pondering the dancer's words. Could it be that the boy in the photo isn't in school but in prison? Suddenly, Christian hears Braxton's phone notification and sees that the kill order for Marybeth has been reassigned to someone else. He immediately drives to save her. At the same time, Justin calls Christian to say that Ray had been killed because he discovered Edith's trail. It turns out the short-haired female killer was Edith. Meanwhile, Edith has secretly entered Ray's house to carry out the assassination mission, but Marybeth has received an early warning from Justin and hides in the dark to try to subdue her. But Marybeth underestimates her opponent's strength. Edith easily breaks free and pushes Marybeth back step by step. In the chaos, Marybeth grabs a knife from the ground but is overpowered by Edith, who drives the blade into her own abdomen. Edith accidentally looks up, and the family photo on the wall instantly strikes her eyes. 8 years of sealed memories flood back. She finally remembers she was Edith. Back then, the family had risked everything to illegally enter the US, only to be targeted by human traffickers. The child was forcibly taken away. Burke carved a tattoo on her ankle as a mark and shot her husband dead in front of her, completely shattering her hopes. Later, Edith found an opportunity to escape in a parking lot. When she drove into a stone pier and rushed out, she was in a car accident, which caused her to lose all her memories. At the moment Edith regains her memory, Christian rushes into the room with a gun. He finally understands the deep meaning of the dancer's words. It turns out that the children were all hidden in the human trafficker's lair, including Edith's son. This news panics Edith, and she turns to leave through the back door. Christian quickly helps Marybeth press the wound to stop the bleeding. On the other side, news of the failed assassination reaches Burke. He calls the boss of the killer organization in a rage, demanding that Marybeth must be killed. But the boss calmly says that the contract would only be invalid when the target dies or the client is finished. But Burke isn't reassured at all, so he orders the sniper to destroy all evidence to prevent the federal government from tracing him. Of course, this includes the children. No one should be left alive. At the same time, Christian is packing the RV. He is going to drive to the human trafficker's lair, but his younger brother advises him not to take the risk. Although Braxton grumbles at his brother, when Christian is about to set off, he still gets into the passenger seat. Early the next morning, the children from the research institute hack into a drone to scout and find that the human traffickers are driving the children onto a bus, and a huge pit is being dug next to it. Justin immediately understands that this is to silence them. She quickly notifies Christian that it would be too late if they delayed. After speaking, Justin quickly turns off the computer, fearing that the children behind her would see the bloody scene. And Christian and Braxton realize the urgency of the matter and quickly check their weapons and equipment. Before the action, Christian suddenly says, "Thank you, seriously," which warms Braxton's heart and makes him realize that his brother has truly changed. But now, saving people is a priority. Without saying more, the two jump into the car and rush to the human trafficker's lair. Just as they are about to approach the bus, Braxton leans out and fires. He first uses a grenade to blast a gap, then accurately kills the perimeter guards. The brothers drive at full speed and crash the car into the wooden house's door. The enemies who react fire wildly but find that the car is already empty. Christian and Braxton jumped out of the car in advance and are hiding behind cover to fight back. In the chaos, Christian sees the sniper take Edith's son onto a school bus and escape. He is so anxious that he becomes more and more ruthless, but the enemy's firepower is still too strong. The brothers throw smoke bombs and rush up to kill the enemies through the smoke. Unexpectedly, the sniper who had left by car takes the opportunity to shoot Braxton with a sniper rifle. Fortunately, the bulletproof vest blocks it and doesn't hit a vital part, but Braxton knows time is urgent, so he asks Christian to chase the school bus to save the children and stays behind to cover him. Christian doesn't hesitate to leave immediately, while Braxton rushes out to fight the enemies desperately. Although he is skilled, he had just been shot, so he is quickly knocked to the ground by a strong man. Just as Braxton is preparing to face death, Christian drives back in a pickup truck. He picks up his brother and continues to chase the school bus. At this time, the children are being driven into the pit one by one. Christian slams on the gas pedal and finally arrives at the scene. Before the tragedy happens, Christian asks Braxton to steady the steering wheel while he picks up the gun and quickly kills the surrounding enemies. Seeing the bad situation, the sniper immediately grabs Edith's son as a hostage, trying to force the brothers to surrender. But unexpectedly, the brothers have a tacit cooperation and shoot at the same time. The sniper doesn't have time to react and is killed on the spot. After the crisis is resolved, the brothers drive the school bus to send the children home, and Braxton even finds his dream pet on the way. On the other side, Justin contacts the boss of the killer organization, reveals all his background, and threatens him to cancel the hunt for Marybeth. Then she tells Edith where Burke is hiding. So when Burke comes out after taking a shower, he sees Edith sitting on his bed. He is so scared that he runs away. But how could he escape? Not long after, Marybeth recovers from her injuries and leads the FBI to seal the human trafficking processing plant, completely destroying the criminal den. And in the research institute, a bed for Edith's son had been prepared in advance, where he would start a new life. At this time, Christian and Braxton are driving the children home. For the first time, Christian takes the initiative to ask his brother about his future plans. He made a reservation at an RV park, at the Chattahoochee for after they drive up Alberto Inn. Christian thought they could go hiking there. This makes Braxton overjoyed, and he quickly agrees. In this way, the brothers no longer dwell on past grievances and prepare to start a brand new life. And so the story ends. What did you think of that second movie? Like and subscribe to support the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments section. Thank you for watching and see you next for more fun recaps.